Eyes, both arms through the body right here. So they're talking about this one. They're talking about right here on the swat down. It looked like she hit her hand just a tad bit here. She was calling this a foul. This is Rebecca Lobo talking, right? She called this a foul. And then we have this hit right here off J.J. Quinterly, right on the arm right here. She calling this a foul too, all right? All right, so I'm going to just change the scenery and then I'm going to let y'all hear the audio, okay?
The ball handler. There's a grab. There's a hold.
Television broadcasters Ryan RUOCCO and Rebecca Lobo made headlines during a recent broadcast when they directly addressed the issue of uncalled fouls against Caitlin Clark during live coverage. The commentary team didn't hold back in their criticism of officiating standards. During the broadcast, specific instances were highlighted where J.J. Quigley appeared to commit obvious infractions that went uncalled. The announcers pointed out multiple examples including arm grabbing, body contact, reaching across both sides, and what appeared to be hand contact during defensive plays. Rebecca Lobo specifically identified several of these actions as clear violations that should have been whistled.
The ball handler. There's a grab. There's a hold. There's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally they call.
Yo, straight calling them out, man. Straight calling them out. And I expected it, because they are straightforward and they speak highly of Caitlin. So when they see the nonsense, man, of course they're going to say something. And I believe most of the commentators should be like that, man. Just keep it real, fam. Keep it real.
The sequence showed repeated instances of holding, grabbing, and reaching that the broadcasting duo emphasized were textbook infractions. Their frank assessment included statements like, "All of those are fouls and every single one of them," while reviewing the footage. Only after multiple uncalled violations did the officials finally make a call.
Real, fam. Keep it real. Call it how you see it. And, whether the WNBA likes it or not, the commissioner likes it or not, Kathy likes it or not, speak your mind, man. That's what people want. They want the truth. So, man, shout out to RUOCCO, man. Shout out to shout out to RUOCCO. Shout out to Rebecca Lobo calling it like it is, fam. And I just wish more of them would do that. Just call it like it is, man. They be trying to ignore it, lying about it. Like, dog,
This direct approach from the commentary team represents exactly what viewers expect from broadcasters. Honest assessment regardless of league preferences or administrative opinions. The straightforward analysis provides transparency that fans appreciate, even when it challenges official decisions or organizational narratives. Many observers believe Clark faces similar challenges to what LeBron James experienced early in his career. James himself acknowledged having to exaggerate contact to receive proper calls because his physical strength led referees to overlook legitimate fouls. The officials essentially forced him to sell contact that was already occurring, leading to criticism about simulation when the root cause was inadequate officiating.
Or lying about it. Like, dog, we see the fouling. All right, we see the fouling. I'm glad it's coming from the commentators because a lot of people think that Caitlin's just out here flopping, just out here doing nonsense. Look, what she's doing remind me of what LeBron James said he had to do. He wasn't getting fouls called for him so many times. He said, you know what? I have to fake it. I have to sell it in order for y'all to call it. Because he was so strong and just bullying people that when they're slapping his arms and stuff.
Clark appears to be adopting similar strategies, not out of preference but necessity. Rather than arguing with officials or displaying frustration, she's attempting to help referees recognize legitimate contact. This includes slapping, holding, and various forms of physical interference that could lead to injury if left unchecked. While physical play exists throughout basketball at all levels, there's a distinction between legitimate defensive intensity and excessive contact. Other players certainly experience contact during drives and post-play, but Clark's situation involves systematic patterns of uncalled infractions.
Just bullying people that when they're slapping his arms and stuff like that, they kind of ignored it, all right? When I say they, I'm talking about the refs, right? So they kind of ignored him. So he said, man, I had to start doing something because I wasn't getting calls. So it's crazy how people start blaming LeBron for flopping and stuff like that when the refs created it. the refs made them create that, man, because they were not calling blatant fouls, man. They were not helping them out. So he had to start,
Current NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander also receives favorable whistles and sells contact effectively. This has become an accepted part of modern basketball strategy. The key distinction involves playing to score while drawing fouls rather than solely seeking calls without genuine scoring attempts. Players who focus exclusively on drawing fouls often see their shooting percentages decline. The preferred approach involves attempting legitimate shots while highlighting contact that occurs naturally during play. This balance maintains competitive integrity while protecting players from excessive physical treatment.
Had to start winning Oscars just to get a call, man. That is crazy work. But, hey, when you don't help them, they have to do something. And that's what Caitlin Clark is starting to do, man. And, yeah, I would like for her to just play through it sometimes, but I get it, too, because she's getting slapped. She's getting held, and those are the things that injured her, right? So she want the refs to pay close attention to what's going on, man, instead of going crazy, getting in their face, yelling at them, as
recent game footage showed Clark as the scoring leader with 7 points and 2 assists before being substituted with under 5 minutes remaining. Some interpreted this as negative treatment, but minute restrictions serve protective purposes rather than punitive ones. Teams implement these limitations to preserve player health throughout long seasons.
Getting in their face, yelling at them, as people who don't like Caitlin Clark start saying, oh, man, all she do is yell at the ref. She's complaining, Instead of her doing all that, she's trying to help the ref see where she's getting fouled, slapped, held. She's getting all kind of things on the court, all right? Now, I'm not saying other players don't necessarily endure this type of behavior from other players. When they're driving to the hole, when they're, backing down a player, playing in the post, I'm pretty sure other players.
The goal involves maintaining competitive physicality while preventing street ball style contact that crosses appropriate boundaries. Legitimate physical defense includes bumping, positioning, and making scoring difficult without resorting to holding, scratching, or excessive slapping. Basketball fans recognize the difference between acceptable physical play and inappropriate contact. The distinction matters for player safety and game integrity. Proper officiating should maintain these standards consistently.
I'm pretty sure other players get slapped and all of that, get scraped, scratched. I'm pretty sure a lot of players get that. But Caitlin Clark, man, she's just trying to sell the foul, man. All right? The MVP of this year for the NBA loves selling fouls. All right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. My guy sells the foul. All right? At this point, it's a part of the game. It's a part of the game, man. People sell fouls left and right all day, every day.
Commentary from viewers reflected frustration with officiating standards, with some describing referees as worse than other professional sports. Others noted that Clark's presence initially drew them to the league, but officiating issues drove them away. This represents a significant concern for league growth and fan retention. Comparisons to college basketball suggest that while physical play will continue, the systematic nature of uncalled fouls in professional women's basketball appears particularly problematic. The situation requires attention from league officials to maintain competitive balance and player safety.
Dangerous without Caitlin Clark, because if this game told us anything, this team needs Caitlin Clark bad. Where was that defense against the Minnesota Lynx, Stephanie? Where was that defense? Oh, interesting. Where's all that pretty ball movement in this nice motion off? Oh, interesting. Where were all these brilliant plays that we draw up on a clipboard?
The broadcasting team's willingness to address these issues directly provides valuable oversight and accountability. Their continued coverage of similar situations could pressure officials to maintain more consistent standards. Someone needs to advocate for proper officiating, and experienced broadcasters serve this function effectively.
Brilliant plays that we draw up on a clipboard. Interesting. How are people going to blame? Interesting. 98-77. The Indiana Fever lose to the New York Liberty. And to be fair, folks, 21 points doesn't do this game justice. From start to finish, this game was a beatdown. What do you want me to say? From start to finish, this game was a beatdown. The Liberty hitting their threes early. Brianna getting
The situation highlights broader questions about officiating consistency, player protection, and the role of media in maintaining competitive integrity. When respected broadcasters directly challenge official decisions during live coverage, it represents significant concern about current standards. Media personalities and analysts who previously claimed the Indiana Fever performed better without Caitlin Clark now face scrutiny after the team's devastating loss to the New York Liberty. These commentators, appearing on major networks like ESPN and CBS, suggested the squad was more effective when their star player wasn't on the court. The recent performance raises questions about whether these same voices will maintain their position following such a comprehensive defeat.
Brianna getting going early. The Indiana Fever interior defense. A bunch of matadors out there. Underlay, right to the paint they go. Right to the paint they go. I'm not sure what the Indiana Fever were doing. I'm not sure if there was a game plan for tonight's game. I'm not sure if Stephanie White had things in order, if they were practicing today. I don't know. It looked like this team.
The assertion that Indiana functions more effectively without their primary playmaker seems questionable given the team's inability to generate offensive rhythm. Clark's absence meant no one was available to accelerate the tempo, create easy scoring opportunities for Aaliyah Boston, draw defensive attention to open up shots for Kelsey Mitchell, locate Sophie Cunningham for quality looks, or provide simple passes to Natasha Howard in advantageous positions. The game demonstrated the team's heavy reliance on their absent star. The defensive effort that was supposedly improved without Clark was nowhere to be found against Minnesota. Similarly, the enhanced ball movement and offensive flow that analysts praised failed to materialize. The strategic adjustments and clever plays that were expected from the coaching staff never developed during the contest.
White had things in order, if they were practicing today. I don't know. It looked like this team was the first time playing with each other again. Here we are back to square one. It's funny. It is funny. I'm just glad that the New York Liberty didn't score 100 points. I'm glad they didn't embarrass us too bad. I'm glad they didn't run us off the floor too bad. Marina Ioannis goes 4 for 5 from 3. Nobody on the
Indiana suffered a crushing 98-77 defeat to New York, though the 21-point margin doesn't fully capture the one-sided nature of the game. From opening tip to final buzzer, the Liberty dominated proceedings completely. New York connected on early three-point attempts, while Brianna Stewart established her presence immediately. Indiana's interior defense resembled matadors, allowing easy penetration and simple baskets in the paint repeatedly. The Fever appeared unprepared and disorganized, as if the players were competing together for the first time. There seemed to be no coherent strategy or preparation evident in their performance. The team looked like they had regressed to their early season struggles, starting over from the beginning of their development process.
Marina Ioannis goes 4 for 5 from 3. Nobody on the Fever show up. Kelsey Mitchell, she played okay. Sophie Cunningham, she played okay. But everybody else, I can't even say that they played okay. They just played. Natasha Howard, 16 minutes. Natasha Howard got 16 minutes. This is going to sound crazy. I'm not sure why, because when Caitlin Clark wasn't healthy, Natasha Howard showed up those games. When Caitlin Clark...
New York's shooting performance was exceptional, with Marina Mabray connecting on 4 of 5 three-point attempts. Few Indiana players showed up ready to compete. Kelsey Mitchell and Sophie Cunningham provided adequate contributions, but the remaining roster members struggled significantly. Natasha Howard received only 16 minutes of playing time, despite previously stepping up during Clark's absences earlier in the season. When Clark was unavailable due to injury, Howard consistently delivered 13 points and double-digit rebounds. However, the coaching staff seemed to forget these previous successful lineups and rotations. Howard managed just 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting with 2 turnovers, a disappointing output given her capabilities.
Clark wasn't healthy. Natasha Howard was somebody that we relied on to get us 13 points, 10, 11 rebounds. But Stephanie White seems to short circuit and forget how we played before. It blows my mind. 8 points, 3 for 8 from the field for Natasha Howard. 2 turnovers. Aaliyah Boston, 7 points, 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Those didn't come until later in the game. 1 for 8 from Aaliyah Boston.
Aaliyah Boston recorded 7 points, making 5 of 6 free throws late in the game after starting 1 for 8 from the field. This represented a complete no-show from the front court anchor. With Clark unavailable, Boston needed to elevate her performance and establish better positioning to receive passes and create scoring opportunities.
8 from Aaliyah Boston. 1 for 8 from Aaliyah Boston. No call, no show from AB as far as I'm concerned. It was a no call, no show, folks. I'm sorry. When Caitlin Clark's out, we need you to step up. It's that simple. It is that simple. You get the ball, fight for better position. Come on, AB. We need you, man.
Mitchell contributed 16 points on 5 of 11 shooting, providing the team's most consistent offensive production. She appeared to be the only player with offensive rhythm early in the contest. Mitchell scored 13 first-half points but managed only 3 additional points after halftime. The coaching staff abandoned the plays and sets that had generated success for Mitchell, failing to run pick-and-roll actions or isolation opportunities that allowed her to create offense.
Ball, fight for better position. Come on, AB. We need you, man. We need you. Kelsey Mitchell, 16 points. 5 for 11 from the field. Kelsey Mitchell didn't play an overly bad game. She showed up. It looked like it was going to be a better game for Kelsey Mitchell. I'll say that. She started off. She seemed to be the only one that had a hot hand for us. Kelsey Mitchell in the first half, 13 points for Kelsey Mitchell in the first half. She goes the rest of the game giving us 3 points. Stephanie White, she melded in the second half, really.
Cunningham performed respectably with 12 points on 5 of 12 shooting, including 2 three-pointers on 8 attempts. Her effort level remained high throughout the game, providing one of the few bright spots in an otherwise disappointing team performance. Erica McDowell scored 10 points with 3 turnovers while attempting 6 three-point shots. The shot selection seemed questionable, as McDowell appeared more effective attacking the basket and drawing contact. She converted 2 of 3 attempts near the rim compared to 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, suggesting a need to focus on driving to the basket and earning free throw attempts. The team's offensive execution was virtually non-existent. There was no discernible game plan or system evident during the contest. Players appeared confused about their roles and responsibilities, constantly hesitating about when to shoot or pass. The offensive possessions looked chaotic and unorganized, with teammates unsure of their responsibilities within the system.